everybody, and welcome back to Hobby Night. Sorry for the slight delay there. I had to reset up all my cameras because I hadn't been at my desk in a little while because I've been so busy playing Silent Hill F. I also need to very quickly, if you don't mind me, chat, while everybody gets settled in, I'm going to make my one last ad post because I have not got the Instagram ad up. But that's fine. We can just do it here. Also, hello to Hammy-chan, Havman, Luke, Neo in Wonderland. It's lovely to see you all in chat. How you guys doing on this fine Tuesday afternoon? Howdy, Adam. It's lovely to see you. How are you doing? Did everybody have a good weekend? Let's see. Let's grab the miniature. Boop. Tallgeese. All right, there we go. Lovely picture of me and Tallgeese. Let's get that link out. Boop. Join me. Bam. So professional. Live now. Nope, that says live bow. Nope, that says love now. Damn it. Live now. There we go. I like that one. Okay, all the ads are posted. Today, chat, we are working on Tallgeese. Hello, Craig. It's lovely to see you. Hello, Captain Comic Geek and Nighthawk S86 and Craig. Hello, hello, hello. And Red Hood Venom. Hello, everybody. How are we all doing today? I have some exciting news. I am here to paint Gundams today. Here's Tallgeese. I have done absolutely zero work on him since the last time that you saw me, but that's because I've been busy going to Micro Center and purchasing a, what kind of 3D printer is it? It's
Bamboo Labs A1.
Well, it's Bamboo Labs A1, but I was trying to remember the type of printing it is because it's not resin.
It's an extrusion.
Extrusion, thank you. I always forget the word extrusion. I don't know why. But we bought for our anniversary, sort of. An extrusion printer, a Bamboo Lab A1, and I'm very, very excited about it because we've already actually printed a whole bunch of things, and it's been great. You want to see some of the things that I've printed? And by I mean that Chaos Cultist printed for me because he's the best and extremely supportive and amazing. Look at this cool stand that he printed for me that holds my water cup, several paints, and a bunch of brushes. It has helped keep my desk so much more organized, and on top of that, we've gotten into Gridfinity. If you guys don't know what Gridfinity is, you can look that up afterwards. I highly recommend looking it up. It's quite cool if you have a 3D printer. And he's been printing me containers for all of my paints that then interlock into the grids so that we can put them into drawers and it can just be all nice and organized. And they stay in there so well. It's so great. So yeah, they are extremely noob friendly. We literally, okay, as somebody who has actually used a resin printer and now an extrusion printer, both products have claimed to be very plug and play. Like, I've watched videos that have said those direct things. I've also just seen it sort of implied through advertisement that both are very plug and play. The resin printer is not plug and play. The extrusion printer, the Bamboo Labs A1, very plug and play. We literally were able to plug it in. Like, Chaos Cultist spent like maybe 30 minutes to an hour assembling it just because we've never done it before. We wanted to make sure we got everything right. And I wasn't really helping with that. He just sort of took over and did it himself, and I didn't want to get in the way, so it worked out fine. And I think he did it, like, it was like 30 minutes. It really wasn't that long.
I'd say about an hour.
Was it about an hour? Okay. So yeah, 30 minutes to an hour. Built it. Got the we got the combo pack, so we have a little stand for
EMS.
our the EMS. So all of our filaments can stand on that. Well, not all, four filaments can be wrapped onto that at the same time, and it can pull from those because it can do multicolor prints. We haven't really done too many multicolor prints yet. Like, we've done a few, but it's mostly been prints that have been pieces where, like, the multicolor has been the two separate pieces, kind of like this one. But we do have, like, one thing where it was, like, a single print in multicolor. It creates a lot of poop that way. So we don't know if we'll be doing too many, like, multicolor prints, but we've already started on our first prop, so that's very exciting. No, I have not finished Silent Hill yet, Craig, and in fact, I may be back on this evening.
I thought that was the plan.
That is the plan. So my plan is tonight
You're
around...
streaming until 4.
Yes, I'm streaming today until 4. So we're gonna be doing, basically my plan is I still want to finish Silent Hill on stream, but I do want to get back to my hobby streams as well, because I feel like I haven't done that in like a week, and I've been feeling kind of guilty about it. I want to continue painting some more. And while I have actually done some painting off camera, I haven't entirely not painted. I did actually finish 2 more of the dwarves officially, just to get us started. So these are the brother and sister sorcerer dwarves. I know their models may not necessarily be sorcerer models, but we are playing them as casters, because I think they're technically both cleric models. I think this is like male and female cleric model, but whatever. They are sorcerers. I have them both have a little bit of their siblings' predominant color on them. So like she wears mostly blue, but has the red sash. And then he wears mostly red, but he has the blue bag. Which is how I kind of tied them together sibling-wise, other than making them like aesthetically look like each other. And then I've started the other 2. I haven't gotten too much work done on them. I've mostly started on skin tone, and then I did paint because I decided while I was doing some highlight work on one of the guys' beards, that I really liked the orange color I had, so I used it on his shirt, even though I hadn't finished his flesh tone yet. But I was like, the paint was wet, and it was a mixed color, so I decided to go for it. But yeah, so I've started on the last 2. So I have been doing some painting, but I want to get back to it, which is why today we're going to do a slightly shorter, like it's not going to be that much shorter, it's only like an hour shorter. We're going to do a slightly shorter hobby stream, and then I'm going to be back again this evening. I believe the intended start time is 7 p.m. Pacific. So we will be back with that. I think I'm going to tuck this in, actually. I think that looks cuter with how high-waisted these shorts are. We're going to do that later for Silent Hill. So we are still going to be finishing Silent Hill. I've just been kind of slow about it because I die a lot, if you haven't noticed. And it's taking me some time. So I want to work on that as well, but I want to also get back to painting. Speaking of painting, I need to pull out my Nuln Oil a little bit, because the last time we saw Tallgeese, I had done a little bit of touch up on him because I realized that I painted something completely wrong, because I was looking at mixed selection of reference, and then I realized, oh my god, you're an idiot, Angela, you looked at everything wrong. So we're gonna fix that. This is the Nuln Oil. Do I have? Oh, I didn't bring it up here. Wow, I didn't bring either of them up here. I will be back in just a smidge. I'm running downstairs to grab my water bottle because I don't have any fluids up here for myself. I have fluids for the paints, but not for myself. And I need that for myself. So I'm gonna go do that. And then I'm just gonna leave you with Chair. You're gonna have to sit here with Chair for a moment. Chair, of course, is your best friend. And he thinks you're very cool. And you guys should chat with him. But I'll be right back. Yes, don't forget to hit that like button. Absolutely. And then we'll actually get started on this beautiful little mech boy. God, he's so cool looking. I'm still very impressed with these Gundam Assemble miniatures. I'm just letting it get focused on him a little bit more so you guys can stare. Oh, here, and I'll let you look at the 2 finished ones. Because these guys are done. The Leos are done. I can't remember if I may not have shown you them yet. Because I did some of it off stream, but I did finish the Leos. I'll show you guys these guys before I leave to go get my drink. So here's the Space Leo. I really, really like how the yellow of the helm turned out. It's just a straight ochre. It's actually Manticore ochre from Duncan Rhodes. It was almost a perfect color match to what I was seeing in the screenshots. So that was really cool. Just went with a flat silver with a wash over it on the guns and everything. I did end up doing a little bit of silver here because I found some other reference that did have that painted a little differently, and I liked that, so decided to do that. I don't know if I washed these. I may need to go back and do that. Because they look very shiny in comparison to everything else. Yeah, I don't think I washed these little things here. Oops. But yeah, he came out really cool. Love how that worked out. The red also ended up working really well on the helm. Very cool. And I did get it on this side. It's just kind of hard to see when you're not holding him. And then here's the ground Leo, which I was really surprised actually that they had the same coloring for their helms. It was still yellow and red. I kind of expected it to be a little different between the two of them since they both have different armor color, but honestly it worked out. It helps unify them, I think, a little bit more, which is really cool. Oh, you have a physio tomorrow, Craig? Well, good luck with that. Is it to check and see how your leg's healing up? I hope that's gonna go well. I hope the physio goes smoothly, that they tell you good news. But yeah, I'm very, very pleased with how the Leos came out. Honestly, very, very fun. Painting them was a lot of fun. And I'm very happy with how the armor color actually turned out, especially, I mean, I really like the purple one. I'm biased. I love purple. Look at my outfit right now. But like the green one, that I think I nailed a good army color for this guy. Like just a good army green. Thank you, Vallejo, because I'm pretty sure I used like German field gray World War II or something like that, so it worked out well. But we're gonna get back to Tallgeese here momentarily. I'm just gonna grab my drinks. So I'll be back in just a moment, ladies and gentlemen. See you guys in like 2 minutes. Okie dokie. Drinks acquired. I don't think, well, so I haven't decided exactly how we're going to base them yet, Luke. For right now, I'm simply going to paint the round bases black again and just leave it at that. I'm not going to do anything fancy with them. When the game actually comes out and we can get the official hex bases for them, at that point, probably. It just kind of depends. All right, let's get back to Tallgeese. That out of the way. Did all that. Here's my Nuln oil. You know, I'm gonna do the little cap fix on this because it's messed up. I mean, this paint's almost dead anyways. I'm gonna have to replace it soon. But to help save what's left in there, let's clean this cap. So it actually sounds good. Question, have you ever painted minis in Halloween-themed colors? Yes, I absolutely have, Neo. I did my entire dwarves, get off there, please. My entire Necromantic Horrors team, so for Blood Bowl, was Halloween-themed colors. I mean, technically, it was like... I kind of, like, the theme, the team's uniforms were based off the Dark Order. But because they were, like, scarecrows and, like, pumpkin-headed scarecrows and, like, werewolves and that kind of stuff, I definitely leaned into some Halloween colors there. Like, some of my zombies have some, like, real 90s green, like, Halloween greens, for example. Good. Look at that just clump of dried Nuln oil. that's been sitting in the cap here. Delicious. Alright, well, let's get that cleaned back up and put back into place. Oh, except then I've messed up where that is, and now it doesn't want to close, which is probably why I wasn't closing in the first place. Do I prefer a specific type of brand of brushes? Not really, honestly. I've used a huge number of different brushes. I do often, I guess like I regularly go back and end up using and buying more of the Army Painters, like basic brush sets. Like I just tend to buy their multi-packs, and then when I find that I've basically run out of the majority of those colors, I go and I buy another multi-pack. I very rarely like buy them individually at this point, unless it's like the really tiny ones where I just really need that or something, but normally, not really. And then the other ones that I tend to use like the most consistently. So there's three brands, I guess I would say, that I use consistently. And I guess you could say those are the ones that I'm biased towards. But I mean, I genuinely will just grab whatever brush looks like it's going to work well and go with it. Whatever brush is available is generally what I'm grabbing. But there's three types. There's the Army Painter brand. So Army Painter brushes I just tend to go for. I think they're fine. I like their synthetic brushes. I think they work well. I like a watercolor brand of paintbrushes called Parada Escada. It's what this, if you've often seen me using this brown tipped, brown handled, like reddish brown handle, but you see it says Escada and then Parado. It is a, I think like French or Italian brand, I believe, of just watercolor paintbrush. You can also use acrylics with it. You can, I don't think it's recommended for oil paints, but I think you could if you wanted to, but it is a synthetic Kolinsky sable mix. They're decently expensive. Like, I'm not going to say they're cheap. They're also not the most expensive paintbrushes I've seen at this size, but like this is a size, I think 4, and I believe online this runs you about like $40. So it is an expensive paintbrush, but I've had this same brush for like 3 years and its tip is fine. It's completely functionable and usable, and I even sometimes forget to wash it for long periods of time. So yeah, so I use this brand a lot, really like them. They are expensive, but I find if you maintain them, and they are pretty easy to maintain, you just need a little bit of, brush cleaner in there occasionally, and don't leave them face down in water and let their bristles flay and such, and try not to keep paint in them. But as long as you like do the bare minimum to keep your brushes fine, this brush should last you for a while. And then the only other brush brand that I really use like most consistently, I guess, would be, I like the Tamiya size 1, specifically model painting brush. It is also, I believe, I can't remember if it's a pure Kolinsky sable brush or if it is also a mix, but it keeps its point really nice and it has a good grip. So ergonomically, I really like it. I haven't tried really too many of like Tamiya's other specific brands, but again, that brand is a little bit more expensive. Like if you're looking for just a basic beginner friendly brush set that's generally pretty well-rounded and inexpensive comparatively, just go for the Army Painter ones, legitimately. Like, not sponsored, just I personally think they work really well and they're affordable and approachable, and you can find them at most game stores if you're looking for them. And if not, just go to your local Michael's or your local Hobby Lobby or whatever your local like art supply store is, and you can just pick up watercolor brushes. Like, they will work just as well, and there is a high likelihood that they'll last you longer, because I don't know, I just find that like the artist brushes are sometimes have a longer longevity than the miniature brushes, if you know what I mean. You had 8 pancakes? 8 pancakes? How big are these pancakes? Are they like mini pancakes? Are they like normal size pancakes? I don't like pancakes normally. I'm not like their texture is not my jam. And so that just sounds not great. All right, we need to touch up what we did here because we messed it up. So we need to reglaze this wash over top. And we're gonna be a little mindful of how it dries. Because I don't want to do a huge amount of my dry brushing again. But I do want to make sure that we get these mold, or not the mold lines, but these like panel lines. Panel lines, that's the word I'm looking for. Dirtied up a little bit more. There we go. 8-inch pancakes? So like, is that the diameter or is that the circumference?
It's gotta be the diameter.
Okay, so like littler pancakes.
Like,
Okay, so like so an average size pancake. You had 8. Oh, are you saying you had like an 8-inch? Did you not have 8-inch pancakes? Are you just saying that you had multiple 8-inch pancakes?
this is enthralling.
I am trying to deduce how many pancakes this man consumed. Wait, there's a difference between American, Canadian, and European pancakes? So who has the thickest pancakes?
Brazil.
Haha. Nice. Alrighty. Oh my goodness. Okay, I need to look it back up. Where's my phone? I need to look back up with Tallgeese. You had 8-inch pancakes.
That's like a 64-inch pancake. That's not the same.
That's a lot of pancakes, my man. That is a lot of pancakes. How many pancakes is the equivalent to a short stack? Because I feel like in well, that's how they sell them, right?
That's how they sell something.
Listen, we're gonna see how long we can keep the innuendo going. What was I doing? Tallgeese. Looking up Tallgeese. Stop distracting me, everybody. There, hey, I left it open. Good on me. Okay. Buddy. Bro. My man. Okay, that's the image I was using. And I believe that I was using was it just Dungeon Stone Gray? Oh no. Or was it the combination of Death Reaper and Dungeon Stone? I'm gonna guess it was the combination because I think it's what I did on the space one. Americans have thick pancakes. Western Canadian pancakes are also thick, but Europeans have silk thin pancakes. Isn't that just a crepe? You're not describing crepes as pancakes, right? Because I thought like crepes were just like super thin equivalents of pancakes, but like more eggy. Am I? Yeah, it was like 3mm is like crepe, I thought. But I also thought crepe was made of egg. Am I wrong about that? I don't know. I've had crepes once, or like twice. And I don't remember enjoying it too much. Is that just the French word for pancake? Okay, that makes sense. All right. We'll go with this one for right now. Yeah, I think that's a pretty good match. To what I have done before. I'm gonna go back over some of the areas where I didn't quite get enough paint. And we'll stuff that into my water. And not the water that I've been using for my paints, but like my drinking water. That would have been smooth. Hello, William. It's lovely to see you. Oh, nice. Did you watch Demon Eyes? Excellent. Yes, for those of you that are big fans of Adam Blampier, and also Blood on the Clock Tower, he released a new series that is coming out. So far as I know, they've only filmed the one episode, but I don't really know. Like, I haven't been invited back to any other episodes yet that I know of. So I'm very excited to see what he ends up doing with more of it. The reception so far has seemed really positive. I think I've seen like a lot of people really liking the format. I've seen a few people here or there being like, I'm not really big on this format, because basically the concept is you're seeing a lot of the game from the perspective of the demon in this particular game of Blood on the Clock Tower. And I would highly encourage you guys to go watch it. Let's not spoil things if we have people in chat who have not seen it, who maybe want to. I don't think it's really a spoiler to like talk about who necessarily the demon is, because that's kind of obvious from the thumbnail. But in regards to if you've watched it and you know what the outcome is and how we get there, maybe don't talk about that part, so that if people do want to go watch it later and they haven't yet seen it, they can, and they're spoiler free. You're halfway through it? Nice. I actually have not watched it myself specifically. I don't tend to go back and watch my playthroughs of Blood the Clock Tower because I live through them. I live through them and their stress. But I'm kind of curious to. I've been keeping an eye at least on what chat's been saying, and so far people have been very, very positive. I'm glad. I feel bad because I feel like near the end I could have done better than how I performed in retrospect, but I genuinely did not trust the information I was getting, and so I had convinced myself legitimately that something had happened and that I was not the character I was, and that is as far as I will say, because I don't want to spoil anything. But I'm really glad that you guys enjoyed it. Really, really glad that you guys enjoyed it. We're talking about the newest episode on Adam Blampier's channel called Blamco, where we play Blood on the Clock Tower, but it is predominantly from the demon's perspective. It's called Demon Eyes. It's this new series that he's put out, and I got to participate in one of the 2 episodes that are available. I'm on the YouTube episode, so it's free. You guys can go watch it. Highly encourage you to go do so. But if you really like the format, and if you're a fan of Adam and Terry's content, and Tempest now, actually, because I think Tempest is signed on to Blamco. Adam gets to tell him to get back to work and everything. I don't know if he used to do that back in the day at Norrell's Bard, but who knows. But yeah, so I think that between the 3 of them, they are making some great stuff. They've got another episode of Demon Eyes out on the Patreon. So if you do want to see more of that sooner rather than later, that's the best way to do it. You're welcome, Adam, for giving you a slight plug to your Patreon there. But yeah, it's very, very, very awesome. Oh my gosh, I know. When Ben was like, when that whole thing happened, again, I don't want to talk about it in too much detail, but like when he asked me that question and I was like, "Are you sure?" And his look on his face when that happened was great. So good. Or like the confusion in his voice, I guess. So good. All right, let me get back to painting. But yeah, thank you guys so much for going and watching that. Really happy to hang out with Adam and Terry and the gang. Always a delight to play with. So very, very exciting. So we need to do this little piece here. I've been in we filmed that like
Beginning of the month.
Was it the beginning of the month? Okay, so yeah, I've been anticipating that episode coming out for like a month now. Going, I wonder when he's gonna release it. So very, very exciting. Very happy to have it out. Honestly, between that and also getting to watch a new episode of Space King, been honestly a pretty good week for slightly longer format content from some cool creators that I enjoy. I assume all of you have by now watched Space King episode 3, if you are Flash Gets fans and proper Space King worshippers. Praise be Space King. Okay, that's good. And now... Okay, let's do his fingies. Oh, it says like whole hand. I'm gonna do just the fingers like we did on the Leos. Because they feel separate. It's so stressful painting him just because like he's a white model. So I'm like, any mistakes, you're gonna see it. Like, you're gonna see that I got the paint in the wrong areas. Whereas like on the purple and the green one, yeah, you may see it if you look really hard, but it's so much less visible because of the color. Oh shit. I just got paint where I didn't want it. Okay, I think I fixed it. I'm gonna grab a little bit of a drag brush and do a smidge using White Star just to tidy some stuff up. If I want another chili request, I'll let you guys know when we do that again. What I need to do is I need to like turn my chilies into powder and then I can just like add it to something and then I can make myself eat that. So it's less painful. Honestly, it really actually wasn't that bad. I think the initial bite was a little more like shocking than I expected, of like, oh fuck, this is hot. But honestly, it wasn't as bad as I like, especially the aftermath. I think like it was bad maybe like on stream, but afterwards I really was fine. I had been worried it was gonna mess up my stomach more or something, and it didn't. So we're really cool. You don't have to worry, Luke. There we go. Is there a short duck? No, Tempest. There is not a short duck, unfortunately. Although that would be hilarious.
Wait, Tempest is here?
No, it's not that Tempest. It's Tempest Lord Raihan.
Okay. No offense, Tempest Lord Raihan. I was just like, what, the Canadian Tempest?
No, not the Canadian Tempest. That would be very cool, but no. I'm not actually sure. I've met Tempest like once or twice, I think.
You told me that you have seen Tempest without the mask.
I have. That's what I'm saying. Is like I think I've met Tempest twice in content with No Rules Bard, because I've not interacted with him as part of Blamco.
Right.
But back when he was with Wrestle Talk and No Rules Bard, I think it was only on the wrestling side. I think it was when I did stuff specifically with Wrestle Talk, not the NRB side. And it was either like one of the watch along like Royal Rumble episodes, because we all had numbers. Like it was either that episode or like something else that we did that was game showy that maybe Tempest was on, but I can't remember now specifically. But yeah.
Oh, was it the No Rolls Bard versus Russell Talk Quizzlemania?
Yeah, it may have been that Quizzlemania episode. Actually, you're right, because I was like, I know it was because Wrestle Talk was there, because as far as I remember, back when Tempest was with the company, he didn't really do much on NRB. I think it was actually
he was more on the wrestling.
Yeah, and I think it was actually, I remember him like complaining about that a little bit. Like I think he wanted to do more.
Don't talk about that.
Sorry.
Be polite.
I just more meant in a generalized, I think he wanted to play more games.
That makes
all.
sense.
That's all. And I don't blame him for that, because I mean, who wouldn't want to play more games? I like playing games. Alright, so what else do I need to paint on him? We need to do the center. So like all of that inner. I need to grab a smaller brush, I think. Bleh, I say. Let's go with this one. I think this one. Oh, chat's saying hello.
Howdy.
He's doing some editing for me. Hello, Marcos! Welcome to the chat.
I have to edit tomorrow's video, if you know what I mean.
Yes. Yes, he does. Alright, let's go. Do the other fingers. You know, I think I'm gonna go ahead and paint the gun in this color too, even though it will ultimately be in the same silver that we've done the other two guns. But the other ones I got to do over top they were already in black / a darker color tone, and I don't know if it's gonna work as well over a white. So I do think we're gonna paint the gun in this color, which I will do when I have a larger brush in my hand, because I just realized it's silly of me to try to do that now, although I can at least paint the part that he's holding so that I can just make sure I get the entire hand. Oh my gosh. Damn!
It's like Walter.
It is. Amazing. Alright, that looks good. That does not look good. Okay, that's better. Need to do a little bit more in this section. Okay. So we have this front panel. Yeah, you guys can see. I had some delicious homemade lobster ravioli the other day. They were delicious. I got them from my market that I go to on the weekends, my like local farmers market. And oh my gosh, they were really, really good. Had a homemade pasta sauce with it too. I got from the same guy. It was like a combo, but basically it was lobster ravioli. And then it was a vodka like sauce. And it was just really, really good. Your pancakes were delicious. Well, I'm glad to hear it.
I can have your attention to the preview.
Yep.
Hold on. Okay.
That was great. That was excellent. Oh.
Oh?
My camera went dead. The overhead.
Understood.
Mm-hmm.
Did you hear that?
I did.
Nothing.
Right in my ears. Completely broke that up, chat.
Not the borkening.
No, the borkening. Ooh, you're having garlic king prongs and cocktail sauce. Ooh, that sounds really good. You had your birthday yesterday? Your happy 26 years? Happy birthday. I hope that you had a good birthday, that you got to do something fun and enjoyable with the people that you care about most. I am properly hydrated. Got a full bottle of water. As well as some, delicious caffeine to keep me going. All right, let's finish painting this. Now that we've done our cleanup. Oh my God, I think I did actually get that on. God damn it. Okay, well, screw my finished painting then. I need to... Darn. I let it dry. Matthew, I'm doing quite well. How are you? How are you? All right. Do I actually think I can move back to painting what I've been meaning to paint, which is his guts? Yes, I think we can. I completely closed my reference. Okay, there we go. That was stupid of me. Just flip the phone upside down, close the tab. Just don't need. I don't actually need this image of Tallgeese anymore. It's fine. I'm gonna do a little bit of cleanup around there, but I think it'll be okay. Okay. Let's see. And can we do that there? And then that, like, right there. Because that's where the seam would be. You guys can't see, sorry. Yay, I'm glad you guys are having a good time. Okay, the vents on his chest are actually in yellow, or like an ochre color. We do have a little bit of work to do on his shield with this color, so let's go ahead and take care of that. I'm gonna do a very thin layer first. I'm gonna have to do so much cleanup, god damn it. Curse you, Tiny Mac. Curse you! I think the next part of the 3D print that CC's been working on is finished, which I think means there's only one piece left. And then we can do the assembly, which will be very cool. Okay. By special, do you mean they are laced with the Mary Jane? Or are they just special because you're diabetic and they're low sugar or something like that? Purple's my favorite color too. Oh, well, thank you, Matthew. Thank you. Yeah, I like this shirt a lot. And actually, I dig this outfit. I was in between, basically between when I end this stream and before I come back on my next stream, I plan on doing a little workout. So that's my plan. Orange does go quite well with purple. You're absolutely right. Great color combination, in my personal opinion, is what I would describe as the 90s Halloween colors, which is pumpkin orange, of course, or it can be a little brighter, but like in that range. Of course, this color, purple, like that really sort of reddish violet color, and then neon green, so like a green screen green, and then of course black. It is good to stay in shape, and I've been trying to get back into some better shape because I had been doing really well, and then I moved away from my gym, and I've been lazy and not always eating the best, and trying to change up a lot of those things to get back into some better shape. Okay. Let us now use a larger brush to go ahead and paint the gun. I think that sounds like a good plan.
So we have failure due to my fault.
Oh no, what happened?
I did not put the plate on.
Oh, correctly?
It was like a millimeter off.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Okay, well what happened? That's kind of a cool looking...
So it threw an error.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, oh. I went ahead and nudged the plate back into place.
Uh-huh.
Hit print and watched it for a minute.
Uh-huh.
And I could see, yeah, it wasn't going to print right.
Right.
So I hit stop.
Mm-hmm.
But here, hold it up to the light and look at this as a stencil. Oh. You can see where I printed the second layer.
Oh my god, you can! Look at that, chat.
Yeah. But I was thinking that might work well for stencils.
It honestly kind of does. I like this. I don't know what I would need a stencil this large.
I don't know, but it was just an idea.
It is an idea. I do like it.
It's the back half of a splinter pistol.
Yeah, if you're wondering what this is, it's the back half of a splinter pistol for the Dark Elves. Or the Jukari from Kamara. And we have the other... Basically, we have one side of it printed, and we're printing the other side now.
Yeah, and I was starting like the third of four parts, and I just didn't quite put the plate on correctly, so I just took it off and cleaned it, and I'm gonna restart here in a moment.
Makes sense. Is that the right gray? No, fuck, it was not. I was wondering, I was like, why does this look so blue? Because it's the completely wrong gray, Angela. What am I gonna use that on now? Fuck. Well, shoopoopy. Okay, well, I guess I just wasted a little bit of paint. I'm so annoyed. Okay, where is Dark Reaper? Not a green. We don't want a green. We want a gray. Okay, it's just special because you're diabetic. I understand. Okay, well, I guess you know what? Oh my god, I'm an idiot. I could just use this on the... Okay. Hold on. I can't just use this on here, because it's gonna get covered. So it don't fucking matter. And then I'm not wasting it. Or at least not as much of it. It's a really pretty color that I mixed. Like, I don't know if you, well, you may not be able to tell. It's got a very deep green color to it. Because I think this is Duncan's Sons of Horus color, essentially, the equivalent. Hello, Blue Fox. I am going to finish Silent Hill F. I'm actually planning on playing a little bit later tonight. I just hadn't done any hobby streaming in like a week, and I was feeling really guilty, and I wanted to do both. So this afternoon, I'm going to be painting up Tallgeese and continuing to work on him. And then this evening, starting at 7 p.m. Pacific or your regional equivalent, I will be continuing my playthrough. It's gonna bode well for this evening. My playthrough of Silent Hill F. Because I've just been taking kind of my sweet time with it. I didn't want to rush it or anything like that, and that's why we're going slow. We're taking our time, but yes, I do plan on finishing it. I don't know how like far from the end I am, but I try. I'm hoping I'm not too far from the end. I need to stream 5 nights a week. Craig, I can't. I am old, and that would exhaust me, and I would die. Also, when would I have time for any of my other fun projects? If I was only ever streaming. That's the problem, is like, I enjoy streaming, and don't get me wrong, I want to stream as much as I can, but I do also still have my other projects I want to work on. And I can't stream everything. YouTube won't let me. I'm not too old. There are 24 hours in the day. Craig, do you not see the bags under my eyes? I have no makeup on today, okay? I didn't have time. I forgot. I just ran out of time. So I was like, fuck it. They're getting Angela without makeup. And the bags under my eyes say that no. I can't be up for 24 hours. do it anymore. But yeah, so Silent Hill will be happening. Don't worry about that. I just wanted to use my daylight hours to paint. And use my nighttime hours to game. How does one win in this painting a robot hobby? Monsieur Panzer, why do you have to win? I mean, I win every time I successfully paint a miniature. I mean, they have art competitions if you are legitimately asking, like, are there competitions in the same way that... I'm assuming as your name is Monsieur Panzer, you are potentially a scale model hobbyist? Or you just like tanks. I'm not really sure. But if you are a scale model hobbyist and you know how like international plastic model societies have clubs and they have like competitions and stuff like that, they do the same thing for miniatures legitimately. They like conventions you can go to take your models to competition. Local game stores will hold their own competitions and stuff. Like obviously some of them are higher stakes than others. If you've ever heard of the Golden Demon Awards, that is a big miniature painting contest that is specifically hosted by Games Workshop, and the Golden Demon is sort of their end-all be-all award for like best painted, and there's a bunch of different categories, and they tend to do, I think, correct me, Warhammer people who have participated in the Golden Demon competitions, but I want to say there's 2 a year. I think they do one normally in like basically like the spring/summer, and then there's one in like the fall/winter or something like that. I feel like one is at LVO and one is at like Warhammer Day. And I feel like they're roughly 6 months apart or so. So there are competitions if that's what you mean. But otherwise, you win by having fun and painting your models. That's how you win. Is my yard guy here? What the fuck is happening? I don't have a sign that my yard guy is here. I apologize if you can hear yard work. There are 2 a year? Okay, I thought there were. Is it the LVO and Warhammer Day? Like, what are the 2 events that they do it? Because I don't think it's Adepticon. I feel like it's the LVO, but I'm like... Because I feel like it's a GW official thing, right? Like it's at one of their official events, not a fan run event that they go to. Okay, his ball joints. And then it's like the... Do you have a backside of him? In color, please? Oh my god. Tallgeese one. Why aren't there more pictures of you? Ah! Okay, that is a thank you. Thank you, whoever screenshotted that image. That is so helpful. All right. What? So basically this entire thing except for the fins? Huh.
Do we have glue activator up here? The brown bottle?
No, it should be in the adhesives.
It's not.
It's not.
That's why I came up to check up
Okay, let me check real quick, because I don't... It shouldn't have been up here, but maybe... It is in one of these.
On my side.
Okay, it's not on my side either.
It's not in that glue drawer? Right one.
This one?
Yeah.
No, there's no activator in here. There's just a bunch of plastic glue.
Okay.
Huh. I know we had some, though.
Did we get rid of it?
I can't imagine why. I don't remember the bottle being empty.
No, it wasn't. It's not in your drawers?
It's not on this side, no, and I'm gonna check. It shouldn't be like, because I don't.
No, you wouldn't have it laying down.
I don't think I would either. It's just a big base. There's some spare bases. Yeah, no, I unfortunately don't think that,
What?
I don't think that we do. No, I don't think. I don't think that we do.
Oh, okay. Okay. It's fine. It's fine.
Well, I need to take a break anyways because it's 2 and I'm ending at 4. So I'm gonna go ahead and take a quick break, and I'm just gonna come down there to real quick help you check and stretch my legs real quick. So guys, I'll be back in like 5 or so minutes. I won't be too long, but I'm gonna take just a very, very quick break. Hello, everybody. I have returned. We could not find the accelerator. I have no idea what we did with it. I swear we had some still, but I'm genuinely not sure where the hell I put it. So I guess I'll have to go buy some more. Whoopsie daisy. However, what we can do is get back to Tallgeese. Thank you, thank you. Okay, so looking at it, the entire like wings are basically this gray. So I guess here we go.
Yeah, as far as I researched, that glue should work fine. Just it might take a day to
Fully cure.
It's without the accelerant. Yeah.
Okay, that is good to know. I wasn't sure because the Tamiya stuff I was not getting to stick at all, and I wasn't sure how similar the Citadel and the Tamiya were. In
Google
that.
AI says plastic super glue works great on PLA.
Okay, cool. I mean, you would hope so. It is literally just. I mean, I thought that was one of the plastics that.
It's a type of plastic. Let's keep in mind there's many types.
Yeah, no, I understood that. That's why I wasn't 100% sure, but I was hopeful that it would work. So good to know. I am sure we have to have some Lord of the Rings fans in chat. I'd be shocked if we didn't. It's so wrong to be painting this when I did it up so nice with the white. But it's supposed to be, so that's what we're doing. I have seen the films, yes. I've seen all 3 movies. I've seen... Is it 2 or 3 Hobbit movies? Okay, I've seen all 3 Hobbit movies then as well.
I think it was a trilogy.
I thought it was a trilogy too, but like I'm double guessing myself now because I can't actually remember. But basically, all the Peter Jackson movies that have been made, I've watched all those. I did start Rings of Power and got kind of bored, so I was just like, I'm done. I didn't really actually have anything like wrong with the casting. I didn't even really like have anything wrong really with anything other than I just was like, you know, honestly, if this wasn't if this wasn't set in Middle Earth and it was just another sort of like a different fantasy novel, I think I would have enjoyed it more. I think it's because it was introducing a lot of characters that we had already seen and not always doing the best to like fully feel like it's linking together properly. Now keep in mind, I did not finish the series, so I don't have full context. But yeah, I don't know. It just doesn't work for me. Like, I didn't dislike it actively, but it never grabbed me enough to make me go, I'm gonna keep watching this, if that makes sense. But then again, I'm also, like, not a hardcore Lord of the Rings person to begin with. I've only ever read the Hobbit book. I never finished any of the Lord of the Rings novels. And most of my other knowledge about the world comes mostly from, like, fan art. And I don't know how accurate I would believe all of that, because it was very yaoi oriented sometimes, and I don't know how legit that was. I suspect probably not much. Oh yeah, no, it was definitely them, like, trying to capitalize on the franchise and, like, the success that Game of Thrones had had, for sure. But, and the problem was like, that had gone and done its thing years ago and didn't even end well, so too late, in my opinion. But that doesn't stop Hollywood, does it? I mean, legitimately, at this point, I just assume you haven't watched many movies that are pop culture related. Or, like, fantasy or sci-fi related, I guess. Genre, thank you.
Genre fiction.
Yeah, I just assume you don't watch genre fiction. Which I'm not really sure then, so what do you watch, Havman, in regards
What do normal people?
What is your favorite genre of film to, like, consume? Or are you just, like, a sports guy? Is it just like football? Is that what
I
you...
mean, based on professional wrestling, I'm pretty sure a sport could create enough TV to fill one person's life.
Oh, absolutely. That's what I'm wondering. I'm like, are you, like, just a sports dude, and so that's what your life is consumed around? Media-wise? I'm sure there's plenty of things your life could be consumed around otherwise, but, like... I liked the Hobbit films, personally. So yeah, I agree with that. They're not bad films. I just think they did suffer a little bit from the fact that it's a single book crammed into, or stretched across 3 movies. Which was one longer than it needed to be. Like, I really feel like The Hobbit would have worked fine as, like, a two-parter, as opposed to being a trilogy. Because he hasn't watched Star Wars either. Like, bro he has avoided most genre pop culture stuff, it seems like. And I am genuinely fascinated by this. Ooh, Alex, that sounds awesome. That sounds cool. Aw, congratulations on finishing up your model, or being near finished with it. That's always very exciting. In the last 8 months with being off, you've consumed a lot of TV. I imagine you probably have. I imagine that you probably have. I can tidy that up then. Okay, smaller brush. Time to move on to the smaller brush. I'm not sure he would have watched Goonies. That's a very, like, boy-coded 80s movie. As a girl who did not watch the Goonies until much, much later in life, I'm not sure it's one that his sisters would have watched. So did you, like, did they make you watch, like, Ginger Snaps and, like 16 Candles? Like, Breakfast Club? Like, what, like, is that what you're watching? Oh, you've seen the Goonies Manhunt? Okay, cool. Well, then maybe... So they were just into 80s films then. You just finished your Great Unclean one? Heck yeah! That is sick. That is so cool, my man. Nice job. Are you saying yes to my question of have you seen like 16 Candles and like Breakfast Club and all that stuff? Is that what you're saying yes to? Die Hard is a very good Xmas movie where we all know this, we all acknowledge this. Just got some gray on the shield. He looks really messy right now. I have some cleanup I need to do. Sloppier than I meant. But we'll deal with it during our cleanup phase. Okay, so I think the main thing I need to focus on now is the underside area where I can't see it as easily. Okay. An aircraft? Potentially. I have a lightning and one other thing that I can't remember off the top of my head now what it is.
Mustang.
Is it a Mustang?
I thought you had a Mustang.
It might be a Mustang. I can't remember now. I potentially have a Mustang. I definitely know I have a Lightning. And those are the only two planes I think I have at the moment. I have one ship, but it's a tiny one. It's like one... It might be 144. I don't remember what scale it is, but it's real small. It's in a very, 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 very small box. But it's the Vampire, or the Vampire, which I think is a... I don't actually remember who made it originally, ship, but it's somebody's. And then, it might be Japanese, but I can't remember off the top of my head. And then everything else that I have is either cars or predominantly actually mostly tanks. It might be 1/700, I don't know, it's real small. It's like... Let me see if I can like find a picture. I think of Vampire Diaries is the first thing that comes up. Scale model ship. Yeah, it's a Navy destroyer Vampire. Oh, it's an Australian ship. That's what it is. And it's an Australian ship called the Vampire. And I think... Yeah, I do think it's the 1/700th one, because I believe it's this. I think this is what I picked up. Like, I think that might be the box. So yeah, I think it's the 1/700 scale. Oh, actually, yeah, because it's literally this one. This is the box art that I have. So that's the kit I picked up. It's a 1/700th. So I've never worked on anything quite that small. And I've never done any ships before, but I was like... I feel like it might... Well, I built... Scratch that. I have built one ship before, but it's kind of like... I wouldn't really consider it quite the same as your standard scale model because it was a pre-painted kit. It was this cute little kit from Japan that I got actually at like my local like Japanese market. They sell some model kits there. And I actually have a couple planes in that too. Some propeller planes. I don't remember which era they're from. They might be World War I planes specifically, but I don't remember exactly. But those are the only planes I have. I haven't looked at how detailed those ones are, but the really, really small ship one, the only one I've built was like it was definitely some Japanese battleship because it was a collection of Japanese battleships. And it only ended up being like maybe, I don't know, like the whole display was about like yay big. The ship itself was like maybe like this big, but it was pre-painted, and so while there was some assembly, it was more of a like snap together and mostly really large pieces. There weren't as many like super small pieces. I have no idea, because I think it's a Tamiya kit, what that 1/700th scale one is going to be like, but I imagine there's going to be some pretty fine pieces in there. I think movies had such a better pacing back in the day compared to modern movies, personally.
They sort of hit a good stride, and I'm biased because I'm a millennial, but the pacing really seemed like it hit between like 1980 and 2004.
Yeah, I would agree.
And I have to wonder if somewhat of that is like, okay, after 2004, we kind of ran out of all the movies that were in production before 9/11.
You know, I could believe that, actually. I could see that being a major factor.
Yeah.
That's a good point, actually. I never thought of that, really.
Yeah,
in like super
it impacted
detail.
a crap ton of things.
Oh, no, it totally would have. It totally would have. Because, like, the whole, like, hurrah America vibe changed.
Yeah. Do you remember, did you see, because I saw it in theaters, the original Spider-Man trailer that had to get pulled?
I don't know if I did, actually.
So, I don't know if it was the very first, but one of the earliest teasers for the Sam Raimi Spider-Man movie.
Yeah.
Came out, and it was a panning shot of New York, I think somewhat simulating, Peter Parker slinging through or something.
Yeah, yeah.
But then it, like, pulls out as it goes past the World Trade Centers and shows a big web.
Oh, yes, I remember this.
I think with the Spider-Man logo in it. And that was like a reveal, one of the earliest teasers.
I
for the
remember
first movie.
that.
And that teaser had to get pulled.
You know,
I'm sure it's available as like someone on YouTube.
Of course. But like, oh my god, I had actually like, yeah, no. Now that you bring it up, I do recall that teaser. I just hadn't thought about it, and like, I completely had forgotten about it.
Alright, I'm gonna go finish the preview downstairs for the image stuff. All the videos are done.
Oh, excellent. Thank you so much. Okay. I don't think I'm fully done with this gray color that I'm working with, but I do want to bring some highlights to this big chunky area in the same way that I have the white before I do any more with it, because I want to move on to doing something slightly different. So I'm going to mix a little bit of white in with this color, the dark color that I've been using, and we're going to dry brush that on. And we're gonna blend it a little bit. Get my brush a little wet. Okay, I think this is working the way that I want it to. We just might need to darken it a little bit, because I think I'm going a little too bright too fast. And I think that's a problem. this is doing all right. Mostly just trying to hit any of the really pale white areas that aren't attached to the wings. Because the wings ones I can just clean up. Make look a little bit different. And it should be okay. Trying to blend his shoes in a little bit with what I've done. There we go. I think it's because a lot of people, movies are a huge part of their escape from reality. And so when they find out that people don't watch a lot of movies, or at least don't watch a lot of movies of the same genre that they do, they're like, oh, I thought everybody watched these. Especially because the genre pieces, like what we're talking about, like the Spider-Man movies, the Star Wars movies, the Lord of the Rings movies, a lot of those are based off of like other pop culture. And so I guess in some people's heads, there's more incentive to go see it because it exists in other media. So there's a likelihood that you either are familiar from it because of the other media it comes from, or there's just like the FOMO. Like the fact that basically, I think what I honestly, if I legitimately had to say happened, what actually is probably like, quote unquote, like weirding people out when they find out that you haven't seen a lot of these movies, is it's more so that like they're so used to all of the other people they know being into like that very specific pop culture side of media, and you seemingly avoid that. And that's kind of, I think that's what's weird to people. Which of Tolkien's books did he not like the name of, but the publishers made him do it? We are not, I don't think we're gonna be baking specifically too many Halloween treats. We are doing a pumpkin carving episode together here on YouTube. We're also gonna be painting some Pokemon models and dressing up as the Pokemon characters again, which will be in late October. And then earlier this month, I believe on the 18th, we are going to have a Not Safe for Work stream that is going to be a Halloween like game show like party sort of stream where we're going to have various challenges that we're going to go through, and the winner versus loser gets like various, basically the loser gets punished is what's going to happen. So I'm very excited by that. Ah, the 2 towers, got it. Okay, I'm gonna grab my black wash. We're gonna put that over what we've done. And then we're gonna clean up we might do one more highlight after that. And then we're going to clean up the white. Yeah, The Shining's pretty good. I forget. Is the original Shining with Jack Nicholson? Is that the one that like Stephen King didn't like? Because isn't there a version of The Shining that like, or one of his movies, I guess. I thought it was The Shining. That he was like, I really hated this one. So I redid it. And I remember like watching the like remake of The Shining. Because I swear there is one. You guys can correct me if I'm absolutely just stupid wrong about that. But I swear I remember there being like one without Jack Nicholson. And I remember watching it and being like, this sucks. Like the Jack Nicholson one was so much better. I don't know. Was Celine Dion in it? I have no idea. I just remember there being like 2 versions of that movie, and I thought Stephen King had real strong opinions on one versus the other. And I thought that was like that was so close. And I thought that was what it was. Okay, it was the original. That's what I thought, which I don't understand at all. I've never read the book, so I don't know what differences were made in the original versus like the novel, but I thought the original movie was a lot scarier. Sorry, I just noticed there's an entire section I just didn't paint. Oh, does he hate most of them? Then why does he keep letting them happen? Oh, never mind. I can answer that question. Greed. Fair enough. Fair enough. Okay, we need to let his wings dry. So while I'm doing that, let's work up on the cleanup on the shield. Actually, let's paint the shields. Things a little darker. Okay. There we go. There we go. Hello, Kojo. It's lovely to see you. I remember that. I remember it being weirder, but like not actually scarier. It was just weird. I also just didn't. Was it Ian McGregor who was the lead in that one? I don't remember him doing nearly as good of a good job. Like, no offense to him. I love Ian McGregor, but, like, I just think Jack Nicholson played a better Psycho. But, you know, he kind of got typecast at it a little bit. Just a smidge. Although I think he enjoyed it, so. Oh, Westerns are great. I haven't watched that many of them, but I've seen a number. Mostly because of some of my college classes, actually. We used Westerns as a really good way to visualize and reinforce, basically, our storytelling and panel layout lessons. Because Westerns, one of the cool things about Westerns, and I think what made them stand out so much for so many people, because they're still, obviously they had an era where they were really, really, really popular. They had like a second era where they kind of came back in popularity, and now they're kind of intermittently being added back into pop culture media on a fairly regular basis, but we haven't really had like a Western resurgence or anything. But I think one of the reasons that Westerns hit so hard when they did is because during the time in movie making when Westerns were really getting their foothold in becoming as popular as they were, was also, I think, around the time when certain compositions and narrative devices to help an audience be able to maintain from scene to scene what's going on. Because if you guys have never studied film history, it's a fascinating subject, and I would highly encourage you to do so. But you guys know of the, like, people freaking out the first time they saw, like, the train driving straight at them because they thought they were actually going to be hit because they had no concept of, like, movies or, like, film and what that was in the same way that we have a concept of it now. And how terrifying that would be, because you're like, oh my god, I don't know what this thing is. Now there's a train, like what feels and sounds like a real train coming at me. And of course we look at it now and go, oh, that's so funny that people were so scared by that. But like, put your in their shoes and like think about how you've never seen that before. It'd be terrifying. Especially because you know the power and devastation that a train is, what it equals in regards to, you've seen it in your society, but you've never seen it coming directly at you in that way, right? So I get why people were freaked out, but for like the longest time, transitions from one location to another location in movies was incredibly difficult for directors. And I'm really dumbing this down. So if you guys are film theories or like film students out there, like, you will probably have a better understanding of this than even I do. But like, my basic understanding of it is for the longest time, basically the transitions of us being able to go, oh yeah, that person is just walked outside their house, and we can infer that they have traveled the distance to go from their house to the store. We don't need to see that travel time. But back in the day, if you watch old movies, or even if you just partake of MST3K or riff tracks or anything like that, and them riffing on these old movies, they will constantly be bitching in some of their medium or in some of their commentary while watching some of these films about how they are spending a stupid amount of time in vehicles with characters who aren't even talking to each other, but like need to get from one location to the next for the scene and the story to progress. And the directors didn't like have a good way, and people didn't have the media literacy yet to go, outside the house, they've gone in their car, they've moved to the next scene. Back in the day, that was really jarring. If you cut from like in somebody's house to them in a store, the audience used to be like, how the fuck did that? What? Magic! They teleported. Like the concept of modernly of us being like, oh, time has passed, they've moved forward in their narrative, and now they're in just a different scene. That used to not exist. Westerns were a fantastic transition period because they really established focal points that they would use as anchors as they moved around a scene so that it was a more comprehensive transition. It was a lot of really cool things, and you were able to cut from inside a house to outside of a house because you had that anchor item. And you could be like, oh, I've just moved outside. And that thing that Western did is legitimately what I believe helped modern movies be able to just, or really modern humans, to have the media literacy to comprehend I've gone from one location to another and I don't need to see it happen in a movie. Because if you watch old movies, god damn, the amount of time you are just in a car constantly is insane. It is like you wait like minutes of time sometimes, like at a time, let alone throughout the entirety of the movie if they change scenes regularly or something like that, or like go to different locales regularly. Did he actually like the new It films? You know, I hadn't frankly looked up what his opinion of the It films was, because I didn't forget it was his film. I just don't really think I cared, because I normally, because I know he always dislikes them. Like, I just kind of always had, I mean, I knew about The Shining one. I didn't realize he had hated, like, that many of his films, honestly. But, yeah, very, very interesting. Okay, my wash is kind of dry, but we definitely need to let it dry more. However, I want to see if I can maybe wet some of this lighter color on there on just the edges. There we go. Okay. Then we're just gonna move over to the shield, work on that white cleanup, let that actually dry a little bit more. And then, well, we got about an hour left. So... And then I'll be back this evening if you guys want to see me gaming some more. We're going to be playing some more Silent Hill. I always forget Tim Curry's the original It. God, what a brilliant actor. My actual, like, one of my favorite roles he actually plays is, the commander, the Russian commander, I think it is, in Command and Conquer. And he's just like, space! So good. You guys know what I'm talking about, right? Please tell me you know Tim Curry in Command and Conquer. Oh shit, that is not doing what I want it to do at all. Okay. Alright, we do have to go the more traditional cleanup method. I kind of knew going in though, that that's what I'd have to do. Painting gently and cleaning up the shield. Sorry, I might be a little quiet while I focus on this a little bit. I mentioned earlier something about Army Painter stuff being good enough for starting, getting back into modeling painting. Would you say it's true for most of their range? Absolutely. I know, like, I feel like, and I will admit, I don't hear this as much, or I don't feel like I hear it as much, but I would say roughly like 5 to 10 years ago, back when like specifically like 10 years ago, but I even think like up until maybe 5 years ago, when I was getting more into, model, like more into my channel, and also like getting back into model painting for the first time in a long time, I remember hearing a lot people being like, oh, Army Painter paints, we don't like them, we don't like their products much, which I never quite understood. I was never a believer of that, or like understanding why I was hearing people say that, because I did try the Army Painter's products, and while I agree their old war paints line was a little thick, in the same way that I modernly have complaints still with Citadel's bases line, I don't really think it was that bad. You could water them down pretty easily. But, oh my god, he is great in the Thornberries. He is fantastic in Wild Thornberries. I mean, really, Tim Curry is just fantastic everywhere. Any role that he's in, he's playing a great job. But like the commander in Command & Conquer for the Russians, he's so good. Space! Anyways, back to Army Painter. So I think all of their products are totally jump-inable for noobs, especially modernly. The Warpaint Fanatic line, love it. Super great. Great for beginners, great for professionals, great for amateurs. I don't care what stage of painting you're in. The paint works well. It's good. It's got good pigmentation. I think it's great. I think the modern version, the 2.0 version of Speed Paints, is also really well done. I think it's an exceptional competitor to Citadel's contrast colors. So if you prefer the more ink style method of painting, I think that is a perfectly viable approach. And it is, I believe, generally cheaper to go about and use the Speed Paints than it is the Citadel contrast colors, especially since you can usually find a pretty good deal on like a set of the Speed Paint colors, as opposed to Citadel, who only sells the contrast colors individually. I think they sell some mixed in with some of their like small form paint sets, but it's usually always a mix, and it's usually for very specific colors because it comes with like a couple miniatures that you're meant to paint in like their generic good guy color scheme. Because normally I'm like thinking of like the old Age of Sigmar starter set paint set, and then the old like Death Guard starter set paint set. Those came with colors specific to Death Guard, and they still were majority base. I don't know if the modern ones have contrast colors in them. I know some of the unique IP related starter sets that Army Painter makes has a mix of their War Paints Fanatics and their Speed Paint 2.0 line in there. So, or it might be the old Warpaint line. Either way, they're still both fine. I just prefer the Warpaints Fanatics because I think they really upped their game when it comes to the medium that they're putting into there. The paints are just creamier than the original one, and I don't think they dry out as quickly. That's just my point on it. And then in regards to like their other products, paints, I think you're good on. The hobby tools, I think you also have really good options there. I guess like the main hobby tool I use from the Army Painter, like actively and repeatedly, that isn't just their paint line, is their like drill, like their hobby drill. But I know plenty of people who use their knife and various other tools as well, and they work fine. They have a good set of tweezers for like doing tufting or just like fine detail work when you're doing model building if you need something to like hold on to, but you can get other ones if you want to. But if you're just getting started or getting back into it, Army Painter is a perfectly good brand to go with. Like, I would even say if you are a long-term, like if you've been painting for a long time but you haven't tried Army Painter in a while, pick up their Fanatics line. Pick up the Speed Paint 2.0. and give it a shot. That, like, honestly, like, I think you'll find it pretty enjoyable to work with, and it might be some good colors to add to your collection. Especially because they're pretty inexpensive, So especially if you like their basic color tones, like the whites, the grays, the blacks, the red, the blue, like the ones that you mix a lot, you could easily just get them inexpensively, still get them in a decent quantity amount, and be good to go. The other thing that personally, the only thing I don't like from the Army Painter, there's one thing that they do, and it's not even that I necessarily dislike it, it's just like my least favorite. I only use it if I have to, if I'm out of my other versions of this same product, and that is their tufts. I am not a huge fan of the Army Painter's tufts, like their grass tufts that you would put on the base when you're finished. Not because I think the colors are bad or anything like that, it's just that they only ever make tufts with a perfectly round like base basically to sit onto. So like they're always round. Like the sticker, the little self-adhesive sticker that you put on there, it's always going to be perfectly round. However, there are brands like Gamer's Grass, for example, that have a style called Wild tufts, and these tufts have uneven, sort of weird pattern bottoms, and I just think it looks more natural. I think it is just a nicer material or like sticker to work with than the just perfectly round ones. But it's mostly about that natural look. The one other thing I would say about Army Painter's tufts is while they have a decent range, it is a basic range, and they don't have any fun colors. So like if you're wanting to do like alien grasses or something like that, Army Painter doesn't make those as far as I've seen. If they do, it's only sold on their website because I've never seen them in stores, but I only ever see really like realistic grass tufts from them. So that's what I'm talking about. Hello, Rancho Seco 80. Rancho Seco 80? Hopefully I got that correct. No, I haven't watched that at all yet, Time Lord. Have you been watching it at all? Is it good? Oh yeah, I definitely have white in that. You know what? Lessons learned. There we go. Okay, it's nearly fully dry, but not fully yet, so we'll keep working on the shield. Going so well and I fucked it up. Your wife wants to start a Space Maids army. I'm trying to figure out how to paint, what paints to get to her for her to use. She enjoys contrast style paints. Does anyone have any suggestions? Well, okay, so my first question is, Godzilla, what, like, is she wanting to do like a classic, like French made style Warhammer, like Space Marine army? So like black, white, in which case, I can make some suggestions. Otherwise, is there colors that she wants to play with? Like, give me a few more details and I might be able to we might be able to assist you. Ah, okay, I see. Okay, I've seen that look. Okay, so for the French maid outfit, honestly, my recommendation is have her prime lemon white, put some sort of black wash, kind of how I've treated Tallgeese actually. I primed him in white. I put a black wash over top of him to let that settle into the recesses, and then once I was satisfied with how that was looking, I came back in and I dry brushed the entire model back up to a more pure white. That has allowed me to get this really nice burnished, sort of like aged white look without it being super, super pure flat white. You still get some textures, you get still some fun stuff happening, but it's still pretty bright and still pretty clean looking. Once you have that on there, that's when she can start going in with contrast colors and actually applying her pinks and that kind of thing. Although if the armor is pink, you could go pink first, still maybe do a dry brush of like, start with a dark pink, Vulpus pink or something like that from the contrast colors. Or if you want to go more of a burgundy color and then bring it into a bright pink, you can start with Sigvald burgundy and go that direction. Alternatively, if you want your pink to be a bit more purpley, Mago's purple. Those are my suggestions for pinks and purples for doing sort of a girly look. So dark pink to start, dry brush up into some lighter pinks to give you some highlights on that armor, and then come back in with white and black to do your details with the maid, outfit and all of that kind of thing. But those would be my two suggestions, depending on if it's white armor with pink details or pink armor with white details and black details. You alternatively could use the entire opaque line from the Army Painter, because they have a really good white, they have a really good black, and they have a really nice pink, actually, too. I would also suggest, if you have them or can get access to them really easily, Duncan's got a really beautiful pink called Cyber Pink. Ooh, there it is. Cyber Pink, which I also really like, and if you add white to it, it goes to a really, really nice pale, like, baby pink, which, depending on what direction she's wanting to take the pink ears and such, that could be a really cool direction. some of the cleanup on this white is stressing me out. I'm just trying to be so clean. I want Tallgeese to look really cool. Okay, after this round on the shield, I might do a wash to see about blending things back together and then one final highlight, depending on how that wash goes. All right, it's looking a lot cleaner. Oh yeah, no problem, guys. Always happy to give suggestions, and I'm always really excited to see chat giving suggestions as well. So good on you guys, appreciate it, and glad to help. Excellent. That's looking good. More water on my brush, please. I think this is probably one of the most delicate paint jobs I've ever done. I knew he was going to be the tough one. It's almost like he's fancier because he's one of the lead characters. Whereas the Leos are fucking fodder and get destroyed all the time. So they're way simpler. God, make it look cool. I mean, to be fair, I appreciate it. It looks fucking badass, but oh my gosh. I feel like I approached this from the easiest way, but who actually knows? Not me. That's how I feel about this mini. Oh, no worries. Good night, Craig. See you later. Thanks for stopping by today. There you go. Okay. That looks pretty good, actually. I'm gonna do the same thing on the side. Where the fuck did that ant come from? Why are there ants on my desk? I have crushed it. Seriously, there is no food on this desk. Where are they coming from? Okay, we're making, so we're cleaning those two sections up. Those are supposed to be white still. We definitely want to do a better dry brush, I think, on our grays. So I'm going to go ahead and take care of that now. I think I'm just actually going to do Dungeon Stone by itself instead of adding white to it. Because I went to blue-gray, I think, at first because of the Dungeon Stone, but I think if I do Dungeon Stone by itself, it'll just function as a more neutral gray rather than a blue-gray. Oh, the Blood Bowl team name that he has the basic undead team. I'm pretty sure it's just like the skeleton undead team is the one that he got sent. Oh, did I miss somebody's question? Oh, you were asking, is this the question about Havman's team? Yeah, he has the undead team. Not the necromantic horrors, but the you're just like whatever the basic skeleton team is. Let me look it up because I don't remember off the top of my head. I think it's just called undead. Like legitimately, I think it's just called undead. No, it's not the vampire team. The vampire team's separate. It's the skeletons. He has the shambling undead Blood Bowl team. So he has this. This is his team. Oop. Sign up for a chance to win $250. But yeah, that's the team he has. So he has the basic undead team. Yep, champions of shambling undead. Should be a relatively quick and easy paint scheme. Because you can really start it by doing like whatever you want the skeleton boys to be done as. And then just add colors on top of it. But I say that and I remember how daunting my first project was. So take your time, have fun. That's really what matters. Yeah, no problem. And as chat said, if I do happen to miss your guys' questions, please feel free to put them back into the chat. Especially if you notice that I'm very heads down working on like a particular section or something like that. It'll probably just be more likely to get answered if you throw it back into chat. And definitely please don't take it personally. It is not anything I'm doing intentionally. I am just literally a space cadet sometimes. And by that, really, I just mean I get really too invested in what I'm actually doing and I don't look up enough, you know? How dare you put it on a high shelf to keep it out of the way while you're not working on it? How dare you? Please know I am teasing. That is totally fine. Do not stress yourself about it. That would be a stupid thing to be upset at you for. That's better. Okay. I feel better about how those are looking. I feel like we've brought some of the highlights back out. We may end up doing like one more wash. We also might end up doing a smidge more of a highlight. Like the tiniest amount of white. Oop. There's one thread on this brush that is like a massive pain in my ass. And it needs to stop. Boop. Did you just tell him to go for the dead one first? Neo, when they're all dead? Sir. I mean, pick whatever one looks the most fun to paint. Or the easiest to paint. Since you're new at it, maybe pick the one that is literally looks the simplest to paint. Approach it from the perspective of, okay, I'm holding this model in my hand. Who looks like it's going to take the least number of colors so that I can get myself comfortable with holding a brush, using a couple colors, but I'm not overwhelming myself. That's what I would do for my first one, if I were you. Whichever one looks the most approachable. I've only got like 15 minutes left, so I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to finish the shield, at least for the white and gray. So I'm going to apply this wash again. Oh, you can totally do the balls or tokens first. Absolutely. I forget that those are in there. Yeah. By all means, please test on the ball or the token. Token would be actually a really good one to test on. Try the token first because it gives you a nice, even, raised flat surface to play around with. Then, after that, go to the ball. It's more of a three-dimensional surface. It's got more volume to it. It's not as flat, right, as the disc is. The disc is really easy to paint because you can literally tack it down on one side, paint one side of it, and then once that's dry, flip it over, paint the other side. You don't even have to worry about it. So I would say, I think it's a great idea, Havin. Start with a coin, or the coins, because I think there's two of them. Start with your coins, then move on to painting the ball so that you're starting to work with a little bit more of a three-dimensional figure. And then after that, look at your dudes and go, which one looks like has the least number of colors that I can approach with, yet still work to make myself feel comfortable with painting a miniature that is a little bit larger than what you've been working on. So yeah, I think that would be a great idea. See, you don't need me. You're figuring it all out on yourself, on your own anyways. Okay, that looks pretty good. We need to paint the eagle still, but I think that's looking nice. Can I get a tiny smidge? I might be about to fuck it up. that like that. And that's where I'm going to just call it for today. He's coming along. I think it's especially very cool that we've gotten so much work done here. Do I have any white paint still? I have a little bit. I'm gonna use a little bit of this to keep touching up this section before we leave. I'm gonna figure out what the hell I'm doing for dinner tonight. Especially since I'm gonna be back in a couple hours to play some more Silent Hill F. Man, what a good game. I think I'm back in the real world at this point in the game. And I'm trying to find my friends. But I have low resources and kind of a pain in the ass section to get through. So we'll see how that goes tonight. But it should be fun. Okay, I think that's looking pretty good. We've made some decent progress on our boy. He's looking even more like a Tallgeese. Look at that. Look at that little good lad. Thank you for subscribing, Eagle Unleashed. It's lovely to have you join us. Alright guys, we're about 10 minutes till my end time for today, which I know I'm ending a little bit early, but that's because I want to make sure I have some downtime, get to eat, get set up for the next stream, because at 7 p.m. tonight, I will be back online, but this time we'll be playing some Silent Hill F. So I hope you guys are looking forward to that. I hope to see you then. If you are still up, if you aren't, don't worry. I won't judge you. I might judge you a little bit, but only slightly. It should be fine. But yeah, I'll be back playing the game again some more. So yeah, definitely look forward to seeing you guys there. And if not, you guys can watch it on demand later. They're always available. Thank you to everybody who has watched Demon Eyes already. That was really fun to record with Adam and Terry and the rest of the group that played in that game. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. You can go watch that in the meantime while I'm taking my break, and I'll see you guys back at 7. Anyways, I've been Angela. Have a wonderful hobby night, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I'll see you a little bit later this evening. Bye.